Hello, my name is Dale Hawthorne. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been on my channel before, please check out to see if there are anything else on my channel that you'd like to look at, any sort of videos or might interest you. And please like and subscribe if you find something which helps you and really appeals to you, not in the sense of necessarily confirming your opinions, but guiding you to some things that maybe you didn't realize, maybe you didn't know. But as I mentioned that, I want to direct you to the books I'm recommending right now. Governments can be a problem in our world because they're often headed by people who may have little regard for human life, may have and much more regard for themselves and their own ideas. So there's 3+2, which I'm recommending to you right now, on government's gone bad and what we can do about it and the role of freedom in the whole thing. So the first one is one which you'll hear Jordan Peterson recommend an awful lot, the Gulag Archipelago. I don't want to minimize that this is not an easy read necessarily, because Solzhenitsyn is a Russian and it is translated from the Russian. The translation is pretty good, but again, there are three volumes here. I read these back in 1984 when I had some time on my hands. So if you can slog through these, it may take a couple months, but you'll find it's well worth reading. And well worth reading what happened in the Soviet Union after the communist coup, the Bolshevik coup of the government back in what historians call the Russian Revolution, but it was really a coup d'état by a few people who wanted to run the government, led by Vladimir Lenin, and they bring it up according to Marx. But as a supplement to that, if you want to know more about the actual cost of communism, the Black Book of Communism is available online. It's not cheap, but you might be able to find it in the library. You might be able to find a used copy, which would be useful for you. But it really shows that the ideology, as Solzhenitsyn says in the book, is the cause for much callousness and needless sacrifice and squandering of human life. So, next one, Death by Government, R.J. Rummel. And both Rummel and Solzhenitsyn aren't really able to be classified as any type of neocon, any type of conservative or liberal. They defy the easy classification into our current labels. So Rummel was a scholar, and he significantly documented the problems, what he called democide. And it's not necessarily the Marxist, the communist governments either, because as he goes through this, he talks about Vietnam, Turkey, Cambodia, Japan, Nazis, of course, and the Communist Chinese, the Soviet Gulag state, which is what you find covered in Solzhenitsyn, Tito in Yugoslavia, Pakistani cutthroat state, a whole chapter on Pakistani, Poland's ethnic cleansing. There's a problem with Poland, too. North Korea, and what happened in Mexico, too. Feudal Russia, even before the Bolsheviks took over under Vladimir Lenin. So he documents it quite extensively, gives some really conservative and yet plausible estimates for the human life that was squandered in those times because of rulers and governments who had little regard for human life, often for their own class, often for their own rules, sometimes for their own ideologies. So last one, also by R.J. Rummel. And again, Blue Book of Freedom. Blue Book of Freedom. And he talks about the benefits of freedom in this book. Moral goods, wealth, and prosperity, yeah. Democracy, and he's not a conservative. He comes out in this book on the side of those who were against Clinton's impeachment, eliminating democide when governments destroy their own people, not genocide but democide, governments destroying their own populations, eliminating war. Free governments, democratic governments are much less likely to go to war, prosperity, things like that. So you can see that freedom is an actual human good, a part of human flourishing. So I leave that with you there to take a look at those, and maybe if you go on Amazon and see those and see some of the other books that get recommended alongside them, maybe you'll have the basis for understanding freedom, human flourishing is a real good in this world, and that governments who destroy their own populations are a real evil in this world. And because, again, I am a Christian, this is a Christian channel, I believe that God is on the side of human flourishing, and it is in judgment of the governments that waste and squander the human lives of their own population by plans to starve, murder, destroy, and deprive them of the goods of life. So, hope this is helpful. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple of you who find this as the school year comes on as basis for some papers or some personal research. So, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I hope this helps.